Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Today, I am going to be making a quick, not really a tier list, but my recommendations for solo leveling Arise. I've played quite a bit. I have a couple of hours, probably like 10 hours or so. I'm only level 20, and the game's still super early. So, a disclaimer, you know, this is my list on what I think people should be pulling for. There's no weapons on here because finding PGs for them was too much effort. But we'll still talk about them. Um, but this will mostly be character focused, since they vary the most. To be honest, the weapons you just look at them and you're like, wow, that's a pretty good effect, and then you look at the other weapons and you're like, wow, it's garbage. And we'll get to some of those too. But we're only doing SSR characters. Whatever you pull purple, like you can't really control that. So I'm not even, and this isn't a tier list. This is just what you should roll for people re-rolling. I know people are like, I don't know if I'm pulling the right stuff, and this is kind of late. It's been out a day now, but hopefully some of you are still re-rolling. So you watch this, and if you've been re-rolling for a day, I'm so sorry, but you could be new. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm horrible with these names. I'm gonna be honest. Weeb names, easy. These are Korean, and the pronunciation and the types of names are pretty fucking different. If it was Japanese list, new characters, I got you. You know, good old Sasuke and Naruto. But here, it's gonna be rough. I do have the game open as well, so we'll take a look at that as I'm making my points. Anyway, let's get into it. First, we have. Yeah, we'll just go in order of this. First, we have Homeboy. I don't remember his name. He's the big dude, defensive unit, does light damage, I want to say. I believe he does light damage. And he has the giant mace. Actually, I'm going to put him pretty solid. He is not a must-have. If you don't know, basically what he does is he heals, and he also grants the character, whichever character is being used, if you a crit rate and a crit damage buff. So basically, he doubles as a sustained healer unit and a support unit, which is fucking huge in these kinds of games. Any game where you get crit rate and crit damage from having a unit on your team, it's fucking great. The issue is that effect, I believe, is from his ult. And I think it won't be super useful for Jin Woo, because I might be wrong, but I don't believe it's gonna be able to give him that effect, because if you don't know, when you use Jin Woo, the character uses their I think their passives apply, and they also use their ability. There's a specific ability they use. It's not their ultimate. So I don't think that would apply, but I believe it will apply in the mode where you use your support hunters, your other hunters, and you fight with them. And I believe if you switch characters, that buff should still apply to whoever you switch to, which is huge. Unfortunately, our only like limited time or like special banner rate up SSR, who's at the end there, unfortunately, he does not use crit rate or crit damage. So, I mean, spoiler alert, he's going to be up there in must-haves, and he's probably the best support in the game, but he does not support him whatsoever, really. He still heals, so that's another reason he's there. He's still good on that team, but he's not giving him the crit rate, crit damage, because Choy does not have crit rate or crit damage, and we'll get to that later. Let's just look at him. Men. His name is Men. I can't believe I fucking forgot that. So we have his skills here. Byunggu, yeah, normal attacks. Nothing really special here. Then you get to the skills. This is where he heals. Recovers allies' HP. Deals light elemental damage. standard stuff. You're not using him as a damage dealer. The damage numbers, I'm be honest, he's not gonna be on the field. It does not fucking matter. For the support units, it's probably not gonna matter. Just ignore the damage for the most part. His multipliers are super low compared to the damage dealers. Don't play him as that unless it's all you got, in which case, good luck. Here's his support skill. You get HP. And fuck, I forgot about this. He does apply damage increase. Okay, he might be a must-have. I completely forgot. So he applies a damage increase by 15%. I wish I could cut that part of the video out now. And then ultimate skill. This is where you get the crit rate, crit damage. This Choy can't make effect of this. His passive is decreases damage taken. Again, does not matter. This is kind of pointless. But he does... Okay, so he increases your damage by 15% by making the enemy take more damage. And he also has his crit rate and crit damage buff. Yeah, this dude's top tier. Top tier. I'm gonna actually move him up to a must-have because... Oh my god. I'm gonna move him up to must-have. I think that's fair. He might be a must-have. I don't have him, so I haven't done too much testing, but for what he applies compared to the other SSRs and like 4 stars and 3 stars, like it's just no big. Even when I thought it was just crit rate, crit damage, I had him pretty high up. With the 15% damage increase, he'll be good with anyone, even Choy. Next we have Homegirl. She's not... So, let's look at her. Lee, if I'm not mistaken, she has a lot of CC. So she'll group up enemies a lot. This is great for like Choy or like any AoE unit or ability that you're gonna use. She does increase the damage they take as well. But that's kind of all she got. And as we go through, you'll see some of these guys are doing so many effects. She's built like an AoE, like sort of crowd control damage dealer in a way, but her damage multipliers are so low, I believe, compared to like Choy or someone else you might have. And she only does like one thing. She only increases your damage by 15%, and then if you compare that to Men, who is not only doing the exact same thing she does, but he also has healing, and he also has the crit rate and crit damage if you're playing on a hunter team rather than Jen. I think she's okay. I think she's gonna be... So, I might need another tier here. I think yeah, okay. I'll put her as pretty solid. I'll say pretty solid. You're not you're not keeping an account because you got her though. So for pretty solid, they're just good characters. Like if you have them, it's a plus, but it's not worth re-rolling for at all. Next we have Homegirl. She is... I'm sorry. She doesn't do jack shit. We're going to look at what she has. Seal. Basically, she's straight up just a damage dealer, from what I understand. Yep, just damage. Applies shield. And she also shields, yeah. But you really just... She's pretty good at break effect. But she kind of has anti-synergy with the DPS right now. Unless you're running Jin Woo with a water weapon in like a specific conditions. But like on a hunter team, who is she helping? That's SSR. I keep saying 5-star because I play Genshin. Honkai Impact and Honkai Star Rail. But SSR. And she's Standard damage dealer. She creates a shield. That's really it. That's all she's got. And yeah, she eliminates her own cooldown. Fucking garbage. I'm sorry. She's not doing more damage than the other ones because she has like, there's no synergy really, I don't think. She can work. I think the cool thing about Men is that he works with all the DPS. If you get her, I'm not saying re-roll because you got her. What I'm saying is, like, if that's all you got, like, this isn't who you're aiming for. We're talking about re-rolling. Again, if it's a tier list, she might be higher up because there's not a lot of options. I would have to test a bunch of 4 stars. Not enough 4 stars. A lot of SRs. There's just not enough materials yet. There's no private server for me to do this or anything like that. This is just off face value. Reroll. If you got her, I know, guys, she's hot. Everybody had her on their wish list first day. You know, that they looked at what the characters do and they're like, fuck. She's DPS, but if you're going for Choy, like, just drop her. You're gonna see a lot of these SSRs actually create armor penetration and everything. So even if you have like the wrong element, if you're doing enough DPS, if you've stacked him, it's not even gonna fucking matter. A lot of these units have damage penetration. She's the defensive unit. She creates a shield. Shield is not meta. That's just not gonna be meta. I'm sorry. Her shield multiplier was low. 25% HP. By the time you have high enough HP for it to like really be tanky, you're not gonna need it because you're going into DPS typically. Like if you're playing this, you're probably going into a DPS build with Jinwoo and you're focusing on doing as much damage as possible. Yeah, it might mean supports are useful, but I'm thinking we're going into a burst DPS meta 100% for games like this, and then it's skill based. 100% a DPS meta. We're gonna see it happen. I'm calling it. Watch, it's gonna happen, especially with the shield break some of these characters can do. So yeah. Next we have Huang. Huang, I'd say is pretty solid. I wouldn't re-roll for him. We're gonna look at him. He's really good because he's probably one of the better well, he's actually the best for win. He stacks off of defense, which is super weird. You're not gonna find a lot of use for defense relics though, so he's kind of your only choice. And his damage off of defense multiplier is fucking crazy. He also does a lot of stun, so it's like crowd control. QTE, yep, defense, damage, crowd control. Dungsu, yep. And if I recall, increases user defense. Yeah, shield. The damage is, yeah. So it's as I remember. He's going down to reroll. It's fucking garbage. Yeah, I thought. Get the fuck out of here. I hate this dude, man. It's not about the character of the game. I just hate the character, like the model, little bitch. But Wu Jinchu, he's free, I believe. He's the one we're getting for free. He is appropriately fucking dog shit. He's appropriately dog shit. Like, he's not good. I'm sorry, guys. Skills. He's wind element. Standard damage. There's nothing to him. I'll be honest with you. Max number of dash attacks. Like, what? He has some break in him, I guess. He's able to break. So if you need wind break, that's what you would use him for. But you would just put a different break unit. It doesn't matter if they have the elemental disadvantage. They're still gonna break the shield because it's a break type attack. But yeah, he's fucking dog shit. I see why they're giving him away for free. He's built worse than some SRs, I'm pretty sure. Like, I haven't delved too deep into the SRs, but like, he has less value than almost all of them, which is probably why they're giving him away for free. I do think you get... So let's look at his passive increase. The effects of meditation power change. So even if you get him and get the free version of him, you can get him up to here. He gets defense penetration, which is good, but like, you're not using him as a main DPS. He's just not good. as of right now. Like his effects, like I wouldn't summon for him. He probably does good damage. He's an SSR, but yeah, you are not going too deep on him. Next, you have Archer Boy. Tell you right now, isn't pretty solid. So, for you to understand, so Lem, I actually do have him on my account. Everything he does breaks, basically. Break, 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 break. His ultimate skill, I don't think it. I guess it doesn't have break. I thought it did, but yeah, he does a shit ton of damage. He does a lot of damage. He's one of the few dark units. He's your dark break character. He fulfills the same role as the last guy, but he does his role way better. He's ranged, so you don't have to worry too much about building defense into him. You want to focus on attack. Deals damage equal to 50% user attack per arrow. Increases damage of core attack typhoon. Yeah, increases his own stuff. He doesn't have really any supportive skills, but he's breaking that shield. He's helping you get through that shield. When you break the shield, I'm pretty sure they take more damage and then they're stunned for a period of time. So that's another reason why we're going into burst DPS meta. He's definitely a good unit to have, in my expert opinion. Next, the OC character, I believe. Yeah, she's an OC, 100% a must-have. And the reason she's a must-have, again, goes back to the number one must-have in the game. So, let's look at her kit real quick. Her kit is break. She's breaking. But she also, unlike the last guy, Lem, she breaks but also supports at the same exact time. She does a lot of damage too. Her damage multipliers are pretty high, especially because she has debuffs. Basic attack, when you use her attacks, burning target damage increases, blah blah blah. Again, synergy with Choy. They're both fire. If you have a fire boss or enemies, like they're just getting melted with this team, with these two. Everything she does breaks. She increases defense, but this is where it gets interesting because increases damage penetration by 7.77%. This is her support skill. Deals damage, yep. And heat absorption is active. She adds the heat absorption. While heat emissions out users damage, she increases her own damage. Again, everything she's doing is breaking, and then she's adding damage, and then she also creates a shield. So she's filling two support roles while also being a heavy break unit and a damage dealer. So she's just fulfilling every role you want. Because it's damage penetration, not crit rate, crit damage, she's adding that to Choy as well. Those are on the same team, you're set for your off team. Like, that doesn't include Jen. Like, you're just set. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Your account's good. If you have her and Jen, or her and Choy, you're good. Your account, don't reroll, and there's nothing else worth it in the game. If you're rerolling for a perfect account, you want Jen. I keep saying Jen. You want Choy and her. That is your perfect reroll account. There's also a weapon I'm gonna get into that's up there in importance, but yep, she's good. One of the best characters in the game, and she's, you know, a little cute. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Have her like in your party, you know. Next is hi, hey, I don't remember. Hey, good mid league. If I recall, he's actually insanely good. I looked at these before work this morning, guys. Okay, let me. I've been looking over them, but like names and stuff, like listen, man. Why I say hey is bake. Yeah, fucking light. If I recall, he also has, it's either damage penetration or he increases. Yeah, he does break for everything. So he's gonna be your light breaker as well. Yeah, he decreases defense. That's what it was, by 20%. Again, any character decreasing the defense of the other, because honestly, in this game, your goal is going to be kill them as fast as possible before you slip up and your skills suck. This is where the burst DPS meta, man. Uh, if you get big, he's really good. I'd say I'll explain the meta placement later. Once I finish with Choy, but there's a reason why he's like a little bit behind the OC, but he does have he decreases defense by 20%, and he does a crap ton of break on everything. He's your break unit, and he also supports. You have to understand, having units like this who break and also support, it fills up 2 slots that you would need on your team, because you need a break unit. Like, Jen with all break skills is not breaking through bosses after the first few chapters of the story. He's just not. So you need a unit who can help you break that shield, preferably 2. So let's say you have a really good break unit that can do healing, who can do either attack percent increase, like through some means, whether it's crit rate, crit damage, or defense, or attack percent increase, or somebody who reduces the enemy defense or increases your defense penetration. So if you can double up on a break unit that does both of those things, like break and support, like you're in the clear, because you fill up 2 necessary roles. If you have 2 of that, you can break the bosses pretty damn quickly. And a break equals they're stunned, and then you just burst them down. You just beat the shit out of them. Do as much damage as possible. Which, again, most of these like break units are like also attack percent increases. That's why I don't think a lot of these units are. That's why I don't think the heavy like healing units are ever gonna be that great. But he's definitely up there. He's behind her for a reason. I'll order these actually. I'll put him like that. So now, actually, right now, I put him there. So now we have Choy. I mean, this is no surprise. Maybe I could move some of these like mid to late game and usable. Nah, these guys like just re-roll if you. I'll be honest. I think she's usable. These two like just like she creates. I mean, I guess these two kind of do the same thing. Re-roll if you get him. Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I think this is right. I think good mid to late game. It's hard to say because like I haven't really reached end game. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, so I don't know. I see all the ones I have in must have pretty solid. I see them being because they're good now. Like all these characters are good from the beginning. So yeah. Oh, I know why. It'd be good early in mid game, but honestly, like healers get moved here. We don't have too many healers. I guess the shielders could be there. Like a shield's good early game for sure. I just don't see it being useful late game as much as like if you can just heal and increase your damage, why would you go with the shielder who only does that? So I don't even think. I think they're good. Any SSR is probably good. This probably doesn't even need to be a tier. But for right now, I don't have any unit that's only specifically good early to mid. It falls off heavy. I think they're just usable. It's supposed to be like this, and then it could be like this. And then, yeah. I think that makes more sense. Choy. Yeah, let's get to Choy. So Choy, best DPS in the game, outside of Jen, obviously. A bunch of damage. He's ranged. He does a lot of he's AoE. He doesn't do break, which is why Homegirl was so important for him. Sports skill, deals damage. He decreases the target's defense as well. What do we say about that? So he's great for that. He doubles as DPS and support. Your entire team is gonna be doing more damage. Burn, he applies burn, which obviously damage over time. So he has DOT in addition to everything he's doing. His QTE does the same exact thing as his special, as his support skill. Sorry, and so him as a support is like where it really shines, or QTE skill. And then you have the ultimate, which is just giant damage. This multiplier is fucking insane. Um, so I don't like this is the highest multiplier I've seen in the game so far on any of the hunters. Like he's just like this is again burst DPS. So you have all of those defense downs, you have the damage penetration, and then boom, end of days. Fucking giant spear comes from the heavens. It just fucking murders what you're fighting. It's amazing. He's reroll your account for him 100%. Yeah, that's it for the character, really. He has this increases the user attack and defense penetration. This is a big reason why he does so much fucking damage. This is from his end of days. So after his ultimate, after he does his ultimate, not only are they burning from all of your skills, not only do you have defense down, he then does more damage by adding attack and defense penetration. Like this is this is fucking insane. This is why he's the limited character. Reroll for him. And yeah, that is basically the list for characters. We're gonna get to weapons in a second. I'm gonna make that section really fast. This is already way too long. I got too sidetracked, but I would order it like this of importance to make it easier for you guys. And yeah. Ooh. I would go like this. Yeah. If you get him, reroll. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Reroll if you get him. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this list. This is the order. None of these guys down here are worth re-rolling for whatsoever. Don't even bother. The reason he's back here, but I don't think you should re-roll for him now because you should be going for Choy. But in the future, he does the same shit she does, but for light. So if you have a light DPS, because these two work so well together because they're both fire, and she gives certain buffs that are specific to him. He's the same thing, but for light units. And yeah, when he's gonna get a 5-star. I don't know who it would be, but they're obviously gonna drop an SSR who is gonna work same way these two are like together. He's gonna work with them. He's really fucking good. He's gonna stand the test of time unless he gets like power crept in terms of percentages. But he just does so much. He does the most in the game, I think. He increases your damage. He heals you. Did he have break? I think he does have break. And yeah, let's see. Does he? He might not. Yeah, I don't think he has break. Yeah, no break. But even so, he heals you. Damage increase. Enhances skill. He's really good. In terms of weapons, pull for this. This, on the tier list, I will put that. Okay, I'm just gonna say Demonic Plume Flower Sword, Demon's King Longsword. I would put those right here. More important than these two. These two might just be so broken. Because you should be rerolling for Choy. But those weapons probably belong like in the middle of this. The thing is, if you have Choy, you do want her. But you really don't need her. I don't have her on my account. If you have Choy, you don't need her. But she has so much value if you have Choy. I would say the weapons are more important. 100%. Those two weapons are so fucking broken. I don't want to get too into it. Demonic Plum Sword. Really good. Stacks. Info, here you go. Increases crit damage, attack increase, critical hit rate increase. You're doing damage. Again, we're going into a DPS meta. If you're really focused on DPS, that's the best weapon. These ones, not so great, honestly. Like, these are all for gen. Instead of target, the additional damage, you get 100. Like, this might be good when you get really late game, but I just don't see it for these ones. Demonic King, I've been using this. It creates a shield. You can support yourself. You don't need to focus on a support with this, honestly. If you're good at dodging, you'll be fine. You'll have uptime on defense pretty regularly. A lot of damage. He has stun. This one's really fucking good. And then you have the scythe. The scythe is okay, honestly. It's probably the worst out of all the weapons. Like, it just doesn't do anything, but you get a 100% damage increase on your skill for 5% HP. That's the weapon. It's fucking garbage. When you get down here, if you get a dupe of this weapon, this completely changes. Completely under 70% HP. So you'll stop running a healer. This is where you get the shielders who can add damage and everything. Start shielding 70%. You get fucking 25% crit rate. That is insane. That is insane. You get 10% dark damage. Like, once you get dupes of this, one dupe, and this weapon shoots to the top of the... It shoots probably, like, around where he is. Where this weapon is. But other than that, all these weapons, I put them in the same tier as wherever their hunter is. I'd say, without their hunter, like, they're whatever. But these are Gen Wu's weapons up here. And, yeah. Your priorities are this. If you're not going for 2 dupes, you do not want to go for this. I'll tell you that right now. I have it on my list because I'm a whale. So, like, I'm going to get 2 dupes eventually. But right now, the weapon's ass. You really want this weapon. Let me see. I'll show you really quick what my priority is. What you want to do is... I was talking about it. My face is covering the random list. So what you want to do is have it look like this, basically, if you're brand new. For me, I actually have him swapped out. I swapped it so you guys can see what it should look like. But I had it swapped out like this because for this weapon to be good, I need the dupe. I had pulled it. Wasn't even a target, but now, like, I might as well go for the dupe. I don't really need a healer at the moment. I feel like if I do enough damage, I'll be good. I really want her to increase the damage for my Choy, who I have 2 of. I got a dupe of him, so he's extra fucking bulky. I do want one more copy, kind of, but, like, I'm probably just gonna save and see what's coming next before I make that choice. And yeah, and that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this long ass guide, and stay safe.